All right, so we are at 20%. Let's see what happens when it drops below 20. I'm just leaving work, and yeah, this is what reverse looks like. Hello, I want to talk about what happens when an electric vehicle drops below a certain percentage on the battery. Usually around the 20% mark, sometimes 15%. It depends on the vehicle. Now, when electric vehicles drop below that percent, something will happen. Different vehicles will display different messages, but they all do something. And basically, it's a warning telling you to charge. And yeah, this bike will be no different. We'll see what happens. Right now we're at 20%, and yeah, it'll start dropping as I ride home. One thing you can see from these images is that the blue bar isn't completely blue all the way to the end. It's grayed out. And in the morning when I was going to work, I noticed that yeah, the bar was there. It was grayed out, and it wasn't like that when the percentage was higher, when it was like, 60%, 80%, whatever. So I think what happens is you drop top end power once the battery drops past a certain point. Now, every vehicle will do this. You'll probably start losing power. Now, the new NQI is really bad. When it drops to 15%, it goes into limp mode and you lose all power, and you're basically riding in eco mode, and it's very, very slow. I think it doesn't go faster than like 20 kilometers per hour, which is around 8 or 9 miles per hour. You can, probably cycle faster than that, maybe even run faster than that. But I did it because I wanted to see what happened. The i3 also starts displaying a message once you drop below 20%. It starts warning you, it starts telling you to charge. And it's really just to make sure that people don't have issues. It's basically giving you time to find a place to charge. Something else I want to try out is the music player. I found out that you can't use streaming music like iTunes and stuff. You have to use music that's installed. Yeah, here I'm still at 20%. Still no messages. Nothing's happened yet. We'll have to keep going and see what happens. Yeah, like I said, the new is really bad. Like once it drops to 15% and below, even though you technically still have 15% of the battery, which is a lot, it won't let you do what you want to do anymore. The i3 doesn't do that. I don't think this bike is going to do that either. What we have already lost is top end power. So we've lost top speed, I think. Low end power currently still works just fine. I'm not going very fast because I'm recording. The headlights, as you can see, are very bright, which is a good thing. Still 20%, 22 kilometers of range. It should definitely drop below 20 by the time I get home. And I will be charging it tonight. I'm not going to wait. If I don't charge, I won't be able to, well, I can still go technically. 20 kilometers of range is still enough for me to go to work tomorrow, but if I was doing this on another bike, it would be killing me by now. It would be telling me to charge, or I couldn't do this on the new. And yeah, when I go fast, the wind kind of blows my camera to the side, so I'm going slow to stop that from happening. Yeah. Other things I wanted to talk about is since we're recording at night, you can see the bike's headlights and see how bright they are. They are very good headlights, very bright. Later on, as I get closer to home, I'll be riding in a very dark area and you'll see them even better. Yeah, so on the new, once you drop to like 20%, you really have to charge it. You can't just keep going. You can't use it the day after because you lose so much power that the bike becomes unrideable. This bike, I get the feeling that I could probably still use it for another, 10%. But I think once I get down to 10% or below 10%, that's when I'm going to start having problems. I'm not going to let it get to that. When I get home tonight, I'm going to plug it in, and after a few hours of charging, it'll be back up to 100, ready to go the next day. And yeah, that's what people maybe don't realize when you're buying a vehicle, an electric vehicle. You see quoted times for charging times, and it's like it's always 0 to 100% in this many hours or whatever, and that's not very realistic, because everybody has a smartphone. And do you wait for your smartphone to drop below 20% before to drop to 0 before you decide to charge it? No, you wait till it gets down to about 20 or even 30%, and then you plug it in. So nobody waits for it to drop, because we all know that letting any lithium-ion battery drop to 0 is bad for the battery. And that's why these vehicles, I'm sure they all have overhead, but that's why these vehicles always start telling you to charge. Yep, here I'm down to 18% now. Still nothing. Bike still works perfectly fine. Still going at normal speed with normal power, which is great. It's great news. That means I don't need to worry so much about the bike being weird on me and just like losing power in the middle of my ride home. Yep, good stuff. Yeah, as I get closer to home, it'll drop even more. I'm about halfway home at this point, maybe a little bit more than halfway. It's a short commute for me. It's only like 7 or 8 kilometers to my house from work, which is nice. I don't have to travel far. I actually enjoy my commute, especially because I have this bike now, and it makes my commute fun. Still dangerous, you still have to be extra careful on bikes, because people do dangerous things on the road. They're not as aware of bikes, and I'm sure they're not doing things on purpose, but it's still dangerous. Yeah, fast takeoffs. Yeah, the electric motor is very quick and fast. The torque is great. So much fun to ride every day. I actually look forward to my commute. Yeah, look at this guy on the bicycle. Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Yeah, that's the thing about Japan. The roads are narrow, and you have a lot of cars, you have a lot of motorcycles, and you have bicycles too. So you have like 3 things to be looking out for, right? You have to look out for the cars, the motorcycles, the other motorcycles, and bicycles. Yeah, and being on a bike, one thing is that these bikes are very quiet, so they don't hear you coming. People often say that loud pipes save lives, but I don't know how true that is. This bike at least is very bright, so they can definitely see me coming, which is probably better than loud pipes.
Right, we are now at 68%. Still nothing, no messages. I think the gray bar has gotten bigger, right? It's bigger than it was this morning, so I think you're losing power at the top end. So if I wanted to go faster, I wouldn't be able to. But I haven't lost power at the bottom, which is interesting.
Right, so as I've just said, the gray area, the grayed out area of the bar is getting bigger. That means I'm losing more and more top end power, I think. Not low. I'm not losing any low end power. The bike is still going just fine. It's going fast, quick off the line, which is good. That's most important. I mean, when you're riding in the city, you're not going to be going that fast. You don't need that top end power as much as you need the low end torque. So I'm glad BMW decided to make it so that as the battery depletes, you keep your low end power and torque, but you lose the top end instead, which is what I think they've done here with this. I'm not an engineer. I don't know for sure, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, I'm almost home. This area here gets very dark. It's there aren't any street lights around the rice fields around here, which is close to where I live, and it gets very dark. So the headlights are important for me, and my i3 has very good LED headlights, and I installed some LED high beams because the standard high beams on the older i3s weren't that good. So I installed some bright LEDs. And this bike, you know, from day one comes with very bright headlights and high beams. I'm going to show you the high beams in a second here as I go down this very dark road. As you can see, there are no street lights here. And there's the high beam. Yep, nice and bright. I can see what's up ahead. Very bright. It's a little trigger on the left handlebar, and you push the trigger out for, you know, to turn on the high beam, and you can pull it to like kind of flash the high beam. So yeah, let's see what happens to the battery as I get closer to home.
All right, so here's our first message. I think when you get to 15%, you can see we have 15% battery. Now I have the charge level low message coming up. So yeah, this bike does it at 15%. And it stays there when you're moving. Yeah, I kind of need to know how fast I'm going, so it would be nice if that didn't stay on there for so long. Am I supposed to like click or something? Yeah, okay, there, I just clicked it. Alright, so a few things have happened. The battery icon has changed to yellow-orange. But still... Alright,
so yeah. It's getting windy, so I'm talking over the video again. And yeah, as you can see, the icons have changed. The battery icon is now orange, yellow, orange. And that's kind of to help you remember that you need to charge, I guess. But the bike is still running just fine. You know, I live on top of a hill, so, you know, I need that low-end power to get me up the hill. And it's working just fine. No issues getting home at all. So I'm very happy. It's done a great job, this bike.
All right, we had a full moon yesterday, a full solar eclipse yesterday, and that was really interesting. And so the bike, as you can see, has very bright lights. Yeah, it's very, very bright. Yeah, even the license plate light is pretty bright. The brake lights are bright. Everything is super bright. So we are now at 15%, and
all right, so I'm home now. I am at 15% with 16 kilometers left of range. Yeah, you can see everything has changed a little bit here from the way it usually is. All I need to do now is plug it in, and it'll go back up to a full charge in a couple of hours, maybe 2.5 hours, maybe less. Usually I don't let it drop below 20. But now I know, right? Now I know that the safest level to take it down to would be around 20%. So from now on, now that I know what happens, I'll be, you know, plugging it in when it gets to the 20% mark. But even if I need to go below that, I can feel safe knowing that the bike isn't going to suddenly lose all its power and it's going to keep going. I don't know how far it'll go. What happens when it gets to 10%, 5%? I'm not going to find out now. Maybe some other day. Thanks for watching.